Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going beyond just the headlines. We're digging into the sources you provided on those really high-stakes geopolitical moves in the Middle East. Our goal here is to help you cut through all the noise, understand what really happened, and uh, grasp the global impact.
Exactly. We'll be looking at the recent military actions, the sort of diplomatic dances that followed, giving you the context to see why this is all such a big deal right now.
Okay, so let's start with that initial shockwave. The sources point to a pretty dramatic escalation, coordinated airstrikes. What can you tell us about that?
Indeed. Over the weekend, the U.S. used B-2 bombers. They hit three specific Iranian nuclear sites, Natanz, Isfahan, and Fordo. Used bunker busters, apparently. This came after earlier Israeli strikes, driven by worries about Iran's nuclear program.
And the scale of it. The
Yeah.
reports mention significant casualties.
Yeah, that's what's striking. Sources suggest possibly up to 950 Iranians killed, thousands wounded, and major damage to their nuclear and military infrastructure. It's more than just numbers. It sends a very strong message, maybe about deterrence, drawing new red lines.
Wow. Okay, so after that huge escalation, things got confusing. There was talk of a ceasefire, which sounded like good news initially.
Right. Former President Trump announced one, said it was brokered through Qatar. The sequence was supposedly Iran stopping first, then Israel 12 hours later. But almost immediately, Iran's foreign minister denied it, flat out denied any formal agreement. He insisted Israel had to halt its actions before any ceasefire could even start.
So a complete mismatch. That contradiction itself seems pretty revealing.
It absolutely is. It shows that deep distrust, doesn't it? This whole who blinks first issue. It plagues so many attempts at de-escalation there.
Makes sense. Now, let's zoom out a bit. These events don't happen in a vacuum. How quickly did we see the ripple effects hit, say, global markets or strategic points like the Strait of Hormuz?
Well, the Strait of Hormuz is always key, isn't it? Iran threatened to close it. They often do. But this time, they held back, probably realizing, it would damage their own economy quite badly, too. Global diplomacy definitely played a role in keeping it open.
And the markets, oil specifically.
Oh, yeah, immediate reaction. Oil jumped about 5% briefly. Brent crude pushed up towards that $81, maybe even $100 a barrel mark before settling down again. Things like existing supply resilience, the U.S. Navy's presence, that helped prevent a longer spike.
Okay, oil is one thing. What about broader financial reactions? Did this fragile pause, as you call it, send tremors elsewhere?
It did. We saw defense stocks, for example, dip by about 6% once the ceasefire talk started. That war risk premium sort of evaporated.
So investors felt slightly less risk.
For a moment, yes. And interestingly, even crypto was affected. Bitcoin dropped below $100,000. Investors got nervous, moved towards safer assets, gold, government bonds, the usual suspects in uncertain times.
It's fascinating how quickly sentiment shifts, isn't it? From war premium to peace premium and back again.
It really underscores how sensitive markets are, and maybe how short-term their memory can be during these crises.
So amidst all this, what was happening on the diplomatic front? How did other countries react? Any surprises there based on your sources?
Well, not too many surprises, really. You had regional players like Qatar, Saudi Arabia, also France, the EU, China, Australia, all calling for calm, for de-escalation. Pretty standard playbook. Russia criticized the U.S. strikes, but seemed careful not to escalate things further themselves, trying to walk a fine line.
It's like watching a global chess game unfold in real time.
Absolutely. Every statement, every denial is a calculated move. And the big question analysts are asking now is, was this just another cycle of violence, or is it the start of something bigger, a wider conflict?
And any signs of talks picking up again?
There's mention of U.S.-Iran indirect talks, possibly restarting soon in Oman. Those will be absolutely pivotal for what happens next.
Okay, so wrapping this deep dive up, we've seen major strikes, this contested ceasefire, the market jitters. It feels like things are hanging by a thread.
That's a good way to put it. The Middle East is definitely in a fragile pause. You've got markets, navies, diplomats. Everyone's on edge, watching closely. And it raises that crucial question for you, listening. In our interconnected world, how do these really intense localized flare-ups send such powerful shockwaves across the globe, affecting economies and diplomacy far away? It keeps happening.
Definitely something to keep thinking about. For now, keep an eye on credible updates about that ceasefire if it holds and any shifts around the strait. The next few days remain critical.